September 20th, 7 p.m. Meeting minutes, any edits or concerns?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll
for
second.
August 26th, 2023.
Okay. Motion and second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Rich?
Got a few. Haven't had this many in a while. I wrote on. If you got any questions, just ask. I didn't write what they were though.
That antenna, is that for the,
The big Ford plow truck.
that's for the flow, that's
Yep.
for the one we're putting the radio in?
Yeah. Matter of fact, the city has it now. City garage. They're gonna install it. So.
Big Ford plow truck, did you say?
Yeah.
You replaced the red truck or what?
No, the big county truck. Craig can never hear in that thing and had almost a mishap last year and was bugging me about a radio for a while. So we still have the red Chevy.
I thought the big plow truck was an international or something.
Oh boy, it could be. I swear it's a 93 Ford. I could be wrong. I'll double check. Yeah, I think you're right. It's the fuel truck that's a Ford.
Yes, yes.
I'll change it.
Is that the last bill for the septic, or you got one more yet?
That's not septic, that, for
The
the.
potty, porta
Well, I was
potty?
gonna bring that up, as whether or not we were gonna,
You can
It goes
pull-
to the-
I think you can pull that
the
anytime.
16th, it's good till of October.
Yeah.
I figured we'd pull it.
Pull it.
Yeah, pull it then, yeah.
Make a motion to pay the bills then.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Item 4. Runway 1634. Nothing new. I don't know what to say. Nothing new. Still working on it. Still some conversations going on with AOPA. Down in the chairman thing there, I'm actually going to Appleton tomorrow for the state of Wisconsin Aviation Managers Association meeting. And I believe Kyle Lewis is going to be there from AOPA. But I'm meeting with the FAA and the ADO at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon to talk about the runway. So hopefully something comes out of that. Any questions? update on the entitlement project, which I'll ask you to jump in. What I've noticed is that, I've been told we're done, but Joe brought some cracks to my attention, and I'm not real happy with the finish work over here around the edges. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, what I found is, like I say, I was telling Gary when I was walking around the concrete anchors, the sealer dropped back in down about an inch or so. And then also, when they did the crack sealing, if you look where the fuel farm is, the cement pad versus the blacktop, I mean, there's gaps in there over a ½ inch wide. They never filled in right around there to seal that. Then all that water is going to run down in there and start heaving that. I mean, when you do crack filling,
Who did the job?
that would have been, I think, Farner, wasn't it? The crack sealing was done by Farner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they never filled around there because that's right where water's going to run. So that was the one, some of the things that I found out, you know, looking around there. And then the only other thing, and this might not be, Rich, do you know anything about that pedestal out there next to the light on the far end? It's got an open cover.
I thought that was an extra one for another light they were gonna put in and didn't. I've gotta check, I don't know why it's got an open cover though. It was
Cover's missing,
it
it's
was
wide
covered
open.
before. Okay, I didn't realize it was missing, it had a cover on it.
Yeah, it's missing right now, so it's kind of why I wanted to bring that up when I was out there walking around checking things out.
I noticed it the other day too, Rich, it's within 10 feet of another light pole. I'm not really sure what it is, and I'm also not sure if it was there before.
Well, I don't know what they would put in there, just they didn't chase it.
All I see is a ground wire in there.
Yeah.
Any other concerns about the entitlement project? Rich, you got anything?
No.
Okay. Item 6, discussion decision, acquisition of garage, the airport. The city owned a piece of property down on Main Street, and it was vacant other than the garage that was there. And the garage is 26 by 32, so it's a fairly big garage, and it's a wood structure. It's an older building, but it's sound. There's some little bit of repair work that needs to be done on it. The city's willing to give it to us. Rich has looked at it, and it was acceptable to Rich, am I correct? Okay. So we've gotten a price from Shooting Movers to move it. It's about $7,000. And I've met with Rod Akey and with Dustin from the street department and with Rich, and we sited it over by the house. Originally it was laid out so that it was parallel, if you will, around the same parallel line as the hangar. And Rich and I talked about it over a period of time, and we thought it was better to line it up with the house, so that if you see it from the road or you drive in, it looks like it's part of the house rather than part of the hangar.
Yeah.
And we also asked that we move it over a little closer to the house. Fire code requires 10-foot space between a house and a garage. The way it's laid out right now is about 18 feet, but it's in line with the sidewalk, and I think it'll tie into the house a lot
Yeah,
better.
they did move it over to 10 feet though, that mark. And what it really helps us with is the snow plowing. We were a little concerned about where we were gonna go snow, and that opens it up quite a bit by taking it to an angle of the home. But he did move it over 10 feet.
Could you go with some of that snow onto the front yard where the F-84 was too?
You can, but you're only getting about 3 blades when I do it, and it stacks up pretty quick, you know, trying to push side blade. You can do it, but it doesn't take long before the truck starts. You know, you get dustings, 3 inches powder, you're fine. You get heavy snow, it just doesn't work.
Okay, I just, suggestion, you
Yeah,
know,
that was
an
what we
area.
were hoping for, but
Okay,
The pathway that's left that Rich is talking about to push snow north has a storm sewer in it. And right now, it's really tipped down deep to get to the storm sewer. I've asked Rod if we can raise that maybe a foot with a riser, and then, you know, one load of gravel around it to, so it doesn't go so deep. Otherwise, it'll be difficult plowing over a little bit. So, the other piece is that Rod has negotiated with a concrete company, ABG Concrete, and they're slated to pour the concrete yet this month, I think. Huh?
October.
October?
Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as that is in and cured a little bit, we can move the garage on it. I also talked with Rod, and we both agree that it needs 2 new garage doors. The doors are, the old wood doors are kind of rickety and hard to operate. So now here's where some of the money came from. When we've done projects, all FAA related projects require
Unknown caller.
all FAA projects require a office at the project site. And in past projects, what we've done is allowed, at one time we used the office over there. And so this time I asked if they would consider this space right here the office for the project, and they said yes, they could do that. So the airport got reimbursed $15,000 for using this space for the office for the project. So the $15,000 is going towards the $7,000 to move the garage and the $8,000 to do the concrete. So it's a pretty good deal. I'm sure that Rich and his wife will be happy to have a garage. And actually get a little bit of storage space. The way it's built is the 2 doors are towards one end, and then the other end is, what would you say, Rich, 10, 12 feet of storage kind of space?
Yeah.
It's deep too.
It's,
So, I want to make sure we get a motion from the commission to approve all that.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and get the garage for the airport residence building to the airport manager.
I'll second it.
Motion is second to approve the garage. Any further discussion, questions by any? Larry, you got anything? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 7, discussion, decision, airport manager FBO contract. I sent it to you yesterday, I believe. I hope everybody got it. Relatively minor edits, but all the edits are in line with what Rich and Tom Hayden and I agreed to make, unless you have some comments, Rich. You haven't said nothing to me.
yeah, no, it's
You're
good.
good with all the red stuff?
Yep.
Okay. So did you all get a chance to look at it?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to read the whole document unless you wanted to. It was just the red edits is all that was changed, so.
Yeah. The only thing I was questioning is I see we're going, it's 5 days a week. There's always provision for the gas pumps to be energized and used by the public through 7 days a week, right? I mean, as far as,
Right.
nothing's changed there.
No, that's-
And it'll always be operable, yeah, for
Right.
people that stop in.
And we had
I didn't really see it worded that way in the contract, but I think that's what we all kind of are anticipating.
if you're okay with it, Rich, I can add a little thing about the pumps being open.
Yeah, that's
7
fine.
days a week.
It's, yeah, they
It's just
stay
a
open.
self-serve pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing, I think Rich and I had a conversation at one time about, if the jet was flying and there's something, we'd find somebody to service it.
Yeah, we've got enough people around that, between me, Craig, Josh, whoever, can get handled, so.
So what's your druthers on the, oh, by the way, the contract is the original 5-year contract. This isn't a new 5-year contract. This is the finish of the current 5-year contract. It's got about 2 more years to go.
Yeah.
Any questions? Looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept as submitted the airport manager FBO contract.
Second.
Okay. Motion is second. Any further discussion? What I'll do, Lyle, on your point for the gas pumps, is I'll make an edit, and I'll put it in yellow, and I'll send it back out to all who don't have it. The red stuff will be gone, but I'll make a yellow edit,
Yeah.
and then when it goes out to you guys, then I'll take that yellow off, and that'll be the contract. I'll get it signed by everybody. Matter of fact, when I send that to you, I'll let you know when the contract will be available, and y'all can come out and sign Rich's copy, so if you get a chance. It doesn't have to be, immediate. I just want to get a couple of guys signed on it, so it's official.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Rich? Okay.
We're gonna vote.
We got a vote, you got a call question?
Oh, we got a vote yet? Okay.
There's a motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Good, Mark, I was on to the next thing already.
We were. Thinking ahead.
Discussion decision, land lease, 100 by 100 hangar, south of terminal. So this is not the immediate one here, this is the second space back. So Bill Berg decided that he wasn't interested in going forward at this point. I signed off downtown on his check being returned to him was $500. And at the same time that was going on, Ed Livingston came to me and said he was interested in the space. So he's willing to pay a $500 deposit with your permission, with your concurrence. Tonight, he's interested in building a 100 by 100 hangar. And at this point, it would be in the spring. There's not going to be anything happening this fall yet. So this is just really preliminary, just to approve him going forward.
Are Who Falls still moving forward with their hangar?
I'm sorry?
Who Falls, are they moving forward with their hangar
Yeah,
plans yet?
I'll get to that in a second.
Okay, all right.
I move that we approve a pre-construction agreement for Ed Livingston for his proposed hangar.
Okay.
At that site south.
What aircraft does he have?
Hmm?
What does he fly?
336 and a 310R.
Okay, he's the 6 that was just painted over here? Did you
Yeah.
buy
Yeah,
the
that's
310
his
then?
airplane.
Okay. The 6 in the T hangars over
Yep.
here?
Yeah,
Okay.
He's,
And that's his 310 he just bought too?
Yep.
310R.
he's talked about a jet. So, well, he started with a 140, I think, right?
I don't know.
Then the Cherokee 6, now the 310. Does he still have a 6?
He does, yeah. I think he's gonna keep it. He wanted a Cirrus, but they were 2 years out on build, so he jumped on the 310. So he's moving forward. And he's flying every day.
Pardon me?
He's flying every day, that 310.
Yeah.
He just got back.
Yeah, we voted. Right? No, we did vote? No, I guess we did.
We didn't vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Airport signs.
Well, you can see the one big one is in, thanks to the city and Rich and his crew, and we got that in. I just gotta I talked to Rich about it. I'm gonna get a metal base. It's kind of like a metal raised planter, and I'm gonna use that to hold the rock in. We talked about putting wood in there, but even treated wood only lasts so long. And I can get these metal raised garden beds for 50, 60 bucks a piece, and I'll need 2 of them, and then we'll fill them up with rock, and then we got a nice looking base with it. We don't have to worry about painting it or anything like that. It'll hold for a number of years. So I'm going to get those, and then that sign will be done, and then I'll move on to down here on Champaign and look at all the other ones. I got to talk to Rich what signs are available yet if I need any.
Do you have any thoughts of putting an addition on the bottom of this one that says FBO-maintenance and an arrow down Airport Road?
I haven't yet.
I think that would be probably pretty helpful.
Well, and we can do that too, so.
FBO-maintenance. It just says T-hanger entrance now.
Right.
You know, so. well, that's where the majority of our activity still is,
Okay.
presently. But I just thought I'd kick it out. I like your sign and what, well, it sounds like your decoration around it and landscaping's gonna work out.
Yep, yep. I was gonna pick them up and then Menards at Wausau ran out and then Anago ran out, so I gotta go all the way to Rhinelander to get them. Because I won't get them till next year otherwise, and I wanna try and get the gravel base in there to cover it up for winter, so. And then after that, I'll be talking to Rich a little bit more and find out what signs are upstairs. I didn't find them the other day when I walked up there.
Okay, I'll get them for you.
And that way I can see what, then I can drive around and then check what other signs need to be changed out. Then I gotta deal with the city, because then the city has to approve them before anything gets put up or changed out. So, at least that's where we're at on that end, so. All right?
Thanks, Joe. I'm assuming there's nothing to do on the F-84.
Well, I actually called my contact and he got extended into November overseas. He left a message, otherwise I probably wouldn't have been able to find out. But in mid-November, I'll give him a call. So he's deployed right now, the contact that heads it. So, as soon as he gets back, we'll get on.
Okay, thanks, Rich. Carry on, general maintenance.
We finally got some stuff in last minute. We did get the new windsocks up. We did get the bulbs in and replaced the beacon light today finally. I am working on the PAPI lights. We've been working on it for a while. There's a circuit board in there that we've been babying for 5 years. There's a coil on there that we literally had to go in and tap. And that was suggestions from Carlson Hines, the owner of that equipment. Well, we can't get it to tap anymore. So we called, they gave us the contractors in Wausau who handle that account. It's $3,300 for a new board. They were shocked, I was shocked. So it's a circuit board. So tomorrow, Todd Nino's planning on being out here if you can get the lift truck from the city. I'm gonna see if he maybe knows something about it or can help us out. But it's an expensive board. So I do have a note posted for PAPI's on 07 that they are in hop. So we'll go from there. Otherwise, I'll be seeking approval to. I was hoping for a generic board. They couldn't find one. We were trying to cross-reference the number.
I was just gonna say, if you recall, with all the trouble we went through with the gates,
Yeah.
originally burning up the boards,
Yep.
and they were wanting, what, $1,000 per board?
Yeah, they were around like 1,200. But we were
We bought them
finding
for a couple hundred.
a couple
bucks.
hundred. So
Yeah.
they were trying the same thing. He said, I'm gonna have to call you back. He goes, I can't even pull that one up. The part number you're giving me, and I gave him the part number right off the board, serial number, everything. So he finally did call back, and he was floored at how expensive they were. They don't have any in stock. They'd have to order it. And he did say he tried cross-referencing it, and he didn't have any luck. So we'll play with it for a little bit, but we've got to get those back up.
Rich, I think the vintage of those 2010, 2012,
Yeah, before me, I don't know what year.
do you remember, Greg?
Well,
Those
yeah,
probably-
the
those-
Pappy's been up for a long time.
Yeah.
They probably went in when we did.
Oh, I would think those have been up out there
They
for
went
over
up-
20 years,
They
25
were up
years.
in the runway, so that's a long
It
time.
was,
Yeah,
they were there just about the time we
yeah,
did the
Run the runway.
725 runway. Huh?
yeah, that's when that was done.
03?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's something we may have to
They-
upgrade
They
totally.
served their life pretty well.
I'll try to remember to ask around tomorrow. Maybe there's an airport that found a source for it that's cheaper or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a used.
Or there may even be somebody that has just upgraded
Sure.
and they've now got some older ones laying around. The same thing with the Riles. These Riles, are meant to come up with your keying on the mic.
Correct.
They're not meant to be run
Stay on.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
The way we're running, the Riles and connections out there with our lighting problem on 1634.
Yeah.
They're gonna burn out readily if they're just
They
meant to
do.
come up for 15 minutes here
Correct,
and
then
there.
shut off.
When someone's inbound and wants the Riles out there.
And that, I do have Todd looking at that. So.
Yeah, both of those have been there a long, long time, as these end around.
Talking about circuit boards, I was talking to Tom O'Neill,
Yep.
and he has a connection. If you can
Yeah,
get,
you're right. He does, doesn't he?
yes,
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
that would be somebody he knows, and the price of the circuit boards were like minimal compared to that 333.
Right,
Yeah.
but you gotta have the right thing to run the.
But you gotta
Yeah,
have.
you do.
you
It's
gotta
a
have-
pretty intricate board, I'll admit. There's a
Yeah,
lot
but
of things.
if we can get a schematic of it,
Sure.
they can do it.
Yeah,
Or a board.
yeah.
You
Oh, well,
can
I
reverse
know
engineer the board.
Point updated, granted, I don't think they had that style pappy either though, but, point upgraded to LED now, so I'll have to find out. But usually you do find that.
I think in time, we should consider really an upgrade for the Vazzies or Riles. And at the time, we go to LED on the main runway and try to get as much of this upgraded to LED
I thought,
mode and
I
stuff.
thought that was the plan.
That's in the plan, I
Is
think.
that,
Yeah,
Isn't it? It's in plan already.
yeah.
is there any time frame on
Well,
it?
that's the 1634 project. That's all in there.
Or maybe it could be pulled from that project or something. It's getting to be more and more of an issue.
The problem is once you change the plan, now you gotta start all over from scratch. So we gotta wait till they turn it down before we can do anything.
In the original 1634 project, all the electrical over there was coming over to this vault. There's actually conduits that are run out into this island between the taxiway and the runway to grab and come over the vault. When that happens, that all that stuff behind the FBO over there goes away, all those cabinets. So it was,
Well, once in a while it helps with a letter that says we're having these issues, and it's become a safety issue now. The runway is one thing, but the lighting is becoming an active safety issue. And the minute these bureaucrats get a letter saying there's a safety issue, nobody wants to pass it off. So maybe there's other ways we can work around this a bit, but it is becoming a safety issue if you can't use Vazzy, Pappies, or Riles.
The tractor is currently down, the PTO spline shaft cracked in half, so we did have an extra one.
On which one, the New Holland?
Yeah, it's about an
Yeah,
8-inch
yeah,
shaft.
okay.
It is a few $100s, so the city is ordering one. So we're currently down with that right now. And I am trying to get a fence quote revived again on the areas where we have the fence raised. It's still pretty high. It was high before, it's getting worse. So in several areas, so I am working on that. Our fuel system, that OPW monitor, I know I've talked about it in the past a few times, a few years ago. There was always an update. Well, now there's no longer an update for it. They have completely done away with that and discontinued that system, which is our tank monitoring for solar alarms, sensors, fuel quantities, that kind of thing. I'll pass this around, and there's some info on it. I think it would solve a lot of our my headache. That's the system itself. And then what they're quoting, this is Northwest Petroleum, I'm working with a few others. Installed is $38.39. The unit itself is $26.39 and $1,200 for install. But I had asked them to give me a quote to update it because we've got a few problems with it. And they came back and it's no longer accepting any updates. So this is kind of, I don't know if you remember, but back in 2011 when it was installed, it was outdated about a month later is what everybody keeps telling me. So we've ridden along with it for quite some
There
time.
must be other airports in our situation
We're the
too.
only one with that.
Is that we the only one?
I hear it every single time the companies come in. They have to try and find a guy that knows how to operate it. And there's usually
Yeah,
only one
yeah,
guy
yeah,
from the
yeah.
company.
Well,
And they
again,
said, everyone that's ever been in here said they've never seen it before.
it's something I think is gonna have to be done. Maybe we'll get some help from the state or something.
Sure.
If it's no longer sustainable and comparable, maybe there's some way we might be able to get some help with upgrading and updating that.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Because we did have a few issues with tank sensors. They were able to get them reset. They went off when they tested them for our annual inspection, and they stayed in alarm mode, and they were having issues getting it back. They finally sent someone else from the southern part of the
Do you
state.
think that we were the only one, because this was the very first system that was designed by the new outfit when the original fellow that did all of the
Correct.
state fuel farm
That's-
programs developed cancer and
yes.
died. The very first new one
Yeah.
was ours out here. We were caught right with him at the end of that.
And
That's
that's
probably the reason we ended up with this one.
And that's from the fuel system maintainers that are in the area, along with the state inspectors from down south, out of Madison, Milwaukee. They all say the same thing. They've never run into this unit before. It's new
We
to them every
need some
time they
help
come
with
in,
that, to
so.
get that updated.
And it works, but the problem is it's starting to have issues, and when it does give us an issue, we're kind of dead in the water.
Resolve them, yeah.
Yeah.
Rich, who's doing the inspection work?
I had Northwest Petroleum do it this time. I needed to get them in here a little quicker. There's another company, I forget the name of them.
Enstrom.
What's that?
Enstrom.
Yeah.
Northwest was sold to M&M and
Correct.
Enstrom also came into the market. so-
And a lot of those guys at Enstrom know this system because they've been, a lot of them moved over.
Is Waltz Petroleum still around? Or
Yeah,
is that Enstrom now?
they're still around.
Yeah, we had gotten quotes from them for the system also,
Yeah.
Okay,
going back when we bought it.
okay.
So I did get quotes on the fuel hoses because we are due. It's expensive to do everything. Just the hoses alone for the fuel farm and the truck, you're looking at $10,275. And they didn't give me a quote on labor, so I need to have them rework this a little bit because they have some sizes in here that I don't recognize. This is from Northwest. I am working with a few others. But that brings me to the truck. No, we're not moving Jet A like we were. I'm hoping we do next year, but with Kirk getting the citation. But he does all of his own fuel. He's already said that before. He's going to continue to do it. I haven't used the truck in about a year and a half. I just haven't had to use it. Those wood runners underneath the tank are completely shot now. They've completely rotted away. So what I'm getting at is the cost of each hose is $3,365 for the big Jet A ones. You could take two of those out. Well, I'm sorry, one for the single point, and then the other one's $1245. Batteries are, we need new batteries now. The truck's kind of been going. And if we did go to another truck down the line, there's not really a need for a 5,000 gallon truck. I was talking to CWA, they do have the big trucks, but they actually utilize their 3,000 gallon trucks much more often than they do the 5,000. So just something to think about. That truck is in need of some work. And I don't know what it's going to cost to get that thing back up to snuff.
So Rich, why don't we plan next month to have a major discussion about
Sure.
the whole fuel
I'll get
system.
some
and what
costs.
we're doing.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, I'll work with you a little bit to
Sure.
figure out some stuff. You got anything else on? maintenance?
I am.
All sewer is okay, it's working fine?
Yeah, so far it's been going good in the house. Haven't had any issues, no backups. It's all sealed. They did a nice job. We got to do landscaping in the backyard, but I think we'll tackle that in spring when everything's settled. But the new concrete, they did a pretty good job, Krieger Plumbing and the city guys, so no issues.
So are you satisfied with the way it was?
Yeah, they did a good job. They got it in out in a day.
We probably need to get a little black dirt to put back there.
Yeah, once it settles, we'll move some more dirt in. I do have the dishwasher on hand, so we will get it installed. Speaking of which, I didn't see that invoice. I'll get that to you. That was, I think I turned it in already, that's why, so they weren't hanging. I had to send it back because they charged us tax for the city account, so I'll make a call on that. They had to remove the tax for the report. It's around $1,000 is what that came to. So I'll get a final bill. And then the other thing that I've got, I am signed up to go knock out this IA thing. October 16th, I'll be gone that week, so.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Get that done. That's all I got.
Okay.
Well, real quick, based aircraft, I'll hand these to you. I've been fighting with the feds on a few planes. There's a few airports playing games with me on some airplanes, but I'm slowly getting it worked out. So they do show on here, but some of them won't count when they're in. When there's a debate about an aircraft at a certain field, the FAA won't count it. But we've got currently 46 aircraft that the feds are actually seeing on the field. So,
That they accept.
that they're accepting. So this is on their website that I update. It's got all the info of aircraft, and then I did put it on an Excel and I did send you off 2 emails. So that's just the aircraft that are here, that are legitimate.
Which I'm gonna grab that, because I want it for tomorrow.
Yeah. I did email it to you as well.
And when you'll be 8 years? When? And when did you start?
I started February 2013, so, but my contract was interim 2016 January, and then
So
2017
it's
January.
been closer to 10.
Yeah.
Well, when you started around that time, 9-10 years ago, we were counting 21 airplanes on the
Yeah.
field, and the FAA was accepting 17 or 18.
Something like that.
And so we've gone from that to 50 airplanes in
Yeah,
10 years.
yeah.
And I think that's sort of impressive, you know. That's really good growth.
Got anything?
AWAS is working fine.
Anything else?
Actually, AWAS. Now you bring that up.
Yeah, AWAS, did you have more trouble with it?
I got a call today
what?
from an aircraft that flew in, said he couldn't get it, so I checked it on the radio in the shop, and sure enough, I wasn't getting it, so I called it in. I can get it over the phone line, but it's not
Really?
broadcasting via
Okay.
the band radio, so I put a call in saying,
We used
hey,
it on Monday, and I was picking it up
That works.
60 miles, 65 miles out at Rapids.
it's not broadcasting now for some reason. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was 2 days ago it was working.
Yeah, just today, I got called.
We'll check it tomorrow. We're going
Okay.
out over 100 miles south, so we'll check it tomorrow. for sure. I'll let you know what our situation is with that.
Okay, I told you I'm going to the meeting tomorrow, and then I was contacted by Representative Calvin Callahan, and he wants to have a meeting here at the airport, October 6th, 3:30 in the afternoon. City officials are invited.
I won't be.
Are you aware of that
I
already?
won't be.
Who is this?
Kelly,
Calvin Callahan,
I'll be here.
representative for the state of Wisconsin.
Oh,
He's your rep,
okay,
also representative,
okay.
and so he wants to have a meeting and talk about the Merrill Airport, so if you're able, come to the meeting.
3:30?
3:30.
October 6th. It's a Friday.
Betty? Gary?
No, I don't have anything other than there's been a nomination for Mark Whitaker for FAA Administrator. Things are looking favorable. He is a private pilot. He has airstream aviation. He's worked in the FAA before. I think he'll probably make it through. And everybody seems to be on his side, you know, supporting this nomination for FAA Administrator. That's the only real major thing that I want to think of any time.
I forgot one thing on the chairman thing.
Yeah.
Lyle's term came up and the mayor reappointed him, so he's a fresh commission member tonight.
Something else that wasn't brought up, lease rates. Last year, we didn't send out lease rate increases.
Oh, yeah, that was supposed to be on here.
That did not get on here, it was on the agenda.
It was
supposed to
on
be-
it, yeah, it
It was
was.
supposed to be in the notes that lease rates were supposed to be looked at.
So we've got to have them out. by
Because we
October
actually,
1.
yeah, agenda meeting here, right here, Hangar rate increase was on here for last time.
All right, we'll get around now. I have one other thing for you guys. this is the front of the building facing west. This is the side facing us here. This is the other side facing south. This is just a preliminary, simple drawing. There's going to be windows all through here, windows all through here. I'm not sure about the south side, what he's doing there. This area, when you look at this, from here up, is this angle you see here on the side, and that's going to have timbers across it. This area here that you see that's got a dark line is going to be a tower structure that will stick out about 10 feet from the building. The building currently is 100 by 120, and I think I told you last time, Buzz and I met with Carl Kemper. I was concerned about the impacting the taxiway, and Carl said 120 will work. Now this, that's the hangar side facing the east, and garage door and the big hangar door. And this is a very simple drawing.
You have the size of the hangar door on? You have the size of the hangar door? I'm just curious. I don't know what kind of drawings are.
Right there.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, what's the dimension? I can't see.
Not on there, Gary.
60 feet? 60-foot door.
Height, does it mention how high the framing is or anything?
60 feet. Did he ever talk to you about aircraft sizes?
No, he told me he was listing aircrafts, but never told me the size.
He's also talked about jet.
I know he's mentioned it.
That's why I'm asking about height, is
Yeah.
you find your jets really going up there.
I think what I'll do is
That would have to be at least a 20-foot door.
sizes.
Oh, absolutely minimum. It should be 22 or 24 if you're going to think about a future for
Same thing?
jets.
I can't
Where
read
you're
it.
doing 100 by 120, you should be looking at an opening that you can work with at least 22, if not 24 feet. Many of them have those T-tails up there.
So this space you see here is office type space
Mhm.
facing west. This is that tower I talked about that will be built into this office
Oh.
space. Claims he wants to hang an airplane with them. So, and then this 4-foot space here, what he's doing is instead of coming directly to the fence line, he's setting the building back 4 feet. And I have to check with Carl to see if that 4 feet is going to impact the dimensions to the taxiway. But there will be landscaping in each of these 4-foot sections, and then the fence would dip back to here, to this corner, and the building would be the fence all the way across
Mhm.
to here,
Mhm.
and then come back to the fence line. And then the building that Livingston talked about, of course, would be the one sitting right here.
Very nice.
So the way he explained it to me, almost what you see here, it's a pretty fancy building.
Bobo's brother,
Okay.
he's the instructor out here, Marvel, and
Okay.
his
What
brother.
is he, a business owner in town, or?
Gary knows more about his background than I do then.
The other issue is talking about timeframes, and he said he has talked to contractors, and they may try to get the foundation in this year.
What is his background? Is he a business owner here in town, or what is?
It's kind of machining and
Financial guy.
Okay.
So this is 100 by 120, and Ed's is 100 by 100 now, and they both full fit down here, huh?
Ed has talked about 80 by 100.
Yeah. I heard it.
But my conversations when we've been on the phone, I haven't.
Okay.
So, this is kind of exciting, I hope it goes through. Any questions about anything? Public comment? Agenda items, I wrote down the lease rates.
Well, that was on the agenda for today, but it didn't make it on there because you can't. It has to go out
You want like-
October 1st, doesn't it?
Yeah, we got a 90-day notice.
Because we approved it last year and it didn't go out
Because we were too.
because we were too late. We approved it last year in September. Rate increase.
And then it didn't go into effect, yeah.
Huh?
then it didn't go into
And it
effect.
didn't go into effect because the letters didn't get sent out. So it's
Okay.
already been approved
It's already been approved.
from last year, so you just gotta get the letter sent out, because we did that
Right.
last September.
Right.
To what rates?
That was all in minutes from last September. It was like $5 more a month,
Okay.
Yeah.
and then,
Okay, anything else?
winter meetings at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
You got the fuel truck on the,
Oh, fuel truck for discussion.
What about the fuel system?
we're gonna do both fuel truck and system.
Well, this is just an odd item. I was talking with Craig about plowing, and he mentioned he felt it really would have been helpful if we could have completed the asphalting around the horseshoe on the north side of the T-hangers. Once they did the landscaping, it facilitates plowing continuously around, but they can't go out there on the ground. Just I thought they had the same issue down on the south end by me for years. Finally, they put the extended blacktop. So when it's soft in the first snowfalls, you can't take the truck out on that ground. So you plow up to it, and by the time it's frozen, you can't move what you plowed up to it. It's too high, you're stuck there. So he said he really would have hoped that we could have asphalted blacktop around the horseshoe on the north side of the T's. And I thought I'm gonna throw it out at the commission meeting just for thoughts and
BOA.
something for the future, maybe.
I discussed it with BOA when this was set up over a year ago. BOA refused to pay for the blacktop. Or that whole end there was not to be any money spent on that end. We went ahead and put the gravel in and cleaned it all up and put the dirt in. But they refused to pay for the blacktop, and the city's budget is tight, and I didn't do anything about it. So,
As a stopgap, can you use the red truck to push the snow back until that's frozen down sufficiently to pull the big truck on there?
Well, usually we just keep going around and around and around with it. Usually we can get it open. The problem is especially, it seems like it's happening quite a bit more lately, is that first snowfall of the season tends to be wet snow. You push, and because it's wet and heavy, it sticks where it's at. And then you get a hard freeze, and it's hard to move it anymore. So we try to move it back. And usually he does get a good keep going.
Were you able, after it froze, were you able to get around it last year?
Oh, yeah.
You could?
Yeah, we usually do it, but it gets to a point. depending
Depends on
how
how your
snowfall
first
you
snow
get.
comes.
Well, and how much you get over the year. Eventually, you just get choked out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he usually does do a good job at keeping it packed and keep moving, because he just does circle after circle after circle. But eventually, he does get choked out with snow. So sometimes we try to blow it, but depending on how wet
It
it
gets
is,
icy, yeah.
it turns into ice, and then you don't do anything with it. So, but yeah, he does try, because he likes to drive. He doesn't want it back up. He likes to just keep going.
Right, yeah, well, backing up that truck.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Half a mile an hour.
So, is it worthwhile to think about it or not?
I think so. I mean, it'd be nice. I know this city's budget's tight.
What about using the loader bucket on the tractor? I mean, we got that big loader
Oh, yeah,
bucket for the
you
front of it. Can that be utilized?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we actually use that quite a bit to move snow.
We were talking, okay, I'll say this as public comment. We were talking a while back about a snow box
Yeah.
for that tractor as a means of dealing with the lighter snowfalls and the bigger areas of the ramp and so on here without needing to break out the big truck or dealing with just leaving a light snowfall lay there and hope it melts. You know, these bigger snow boxes that can be utilized and retrofitted onto that tractor and use that tractor somewhat for other than just snow blowing. Turn the seat around and use the other end of it to move a snow box.
Sure.
You know, I'm sure, Gary, you know exactly what I'm talking about with big lots and so on to clear. You know, is that something that should be examined or looked into by the commission to, obviously too late for doing anything for this year, but something that can be retrofitted onto that loader frame on the tractor to utilize?
With the new landscaping, it's much nicer around there than it was ever in the past.
Well,
They did a nice job with that.
I'm just also thinking like what Rich is talking about, the first couple of snowfalls, that even if they are heavy, if you've got a snow box like that on the big tractor is capable of pushing back further, and then once once the snow is off that ground out there, it'll freeze in no time flat like a gravel road or whatever. Then you can get out there with the truck and we can keep that snow
Yeah.
going back further toward the swamp there.
And that tractor would work better, because one issue we have with the big truck is the ground's not frozen set yet, so when you get so far, it
It's
just
sink.
wants to sink.
Mhm.
So we got, more flotation on the tractor. That's one thing we try not to do, is try not to tear up the ground too much.
Right.
But that's always, yeah, it's a tough thing in the beginning of the year. Either heavy wet snow, soft ground. But yeah, we do try to get that back, and I think a box truck, or a box plow would be beneficial. I know we had the option when we got that tractor. They were 5,000 at the time. I have no idea what they are now. But you could probably get something.
I mean, you
Add
can
an option.
you
I
can
don't-
retrofit something
Yeah.
onto it. I'm sure the guys down at the city garage, got a welder down there, can set something up to be able to attach it to the bucket that's
Sure.
on the
Oh, yeah.
motor frame already.
Yeah.
Because I know we were talking about that before, that's not a quick attached bucket. You can't take the bucket
Not-
off the frame.
Not the bucket, the front one is, but yeah, you're right, you can do an attach on the bucket.
Does that have 3-point arms on both ends?
Yeah.
Can a box like that be attached to the 3-point?
Oh, yeah. And that was the option we had. It was a Wausau box. Well, I don't know, Wausau Manufacturing. That was the box they were selling at the time when we got the tractor in 2014. But we opted out for, I wasn't part of that. I just know that we opted out. And I only saw it because I was there at the training thing. I don't know what they go for now. But you've got.
Well, we got more ramp space over here that's gonna need to be cleared off. There's ramp space over there. And,
He has a hard time pushing this the way it is. And now.
well, now
we
it's
are
that
con-
much more.
We are
Yeah.
concerned about how we're gonna
Yeah.
get it to go that much farther.
I think that's something the commission should examine or look at or.
Yeah, we can look into
You
that.
spend a lot of time back and forth otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. And
Same
the
amount.
tractor is capable of going equal speeds both directions. So that would be a more efficient means of moving some snow that way with a box on it.
One more point of interest, the town of Merrill will be rebuilding the airport road next year.
Yes.
Their method is gonna be to grind in, you may wanna talk about it, they're gonna grind in the blacktop and then put a 3-inch lift on top of that. So
At least a 3-inch lift on top of the ground.
our elevations are gonna change at least 6 inches. So, I've talked with Brandon about
Mhm.
the,
Yeah, about the transitions. Yeah, that's definitely on. I'm on the Long Range Planning Commission for the town of Merrill. And that's definitely part of the whole project, is going to be making sure those transitions are done properly. Because as an example, on the corner of Highway C and Norwegian Road there, they did not do the transition very well. And it drops right off and you wind up with a lip there like that. We don't want that involved on any of this for either the private driveways or the street corners or anything, so that new blacktop will transition properly.
okay. Anything else, guys? Okay, call for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.